Hello everyone. So I've heard everywhere that VNAV actually doesn't work in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it actually does. At least I managed to make it work. At least on the Airbus A320. I've tried on the other planes, and it works, but not great. But on the Airbus, it seems to work out. So what I've done is I've already picked the Airbus, and I've picked a route out. So basically, I chose a small route so that the video is not that long, although it will be long anyway. So Brussels to Schiphol. And what I've done is it's important to choose low altitude or high altitude airways so that we basically have a plan. I've chosen runway 25R and runway 18C. And here you can actually choose all sorts of different ways of routes of taking off, and I've chosen the CIV 4C25R because the others all go very roundabout routes, although they'll all work. And then the approach, I took an ILS to 18C. So you can see that when we get to Schiphol, we'll fly over the airfield, go up north, turn around, and then enter the last leg to catch the ILS. All right, so let's go straight into flying then. There's a few things that we need to do to set up the plane so that it actually does this managed vertical navigation as well. So I'll just show you how to set that up. Hopefully it all works out.
Brussels Tower Airbus Alpha Sierra X-ray 320 ready to go runway 25 right IFR to Schiphol.
Right, so we're in the plane. So first things first is let's look at the FMC display. So here we can look at the flight plan, and we can see all the different waypoints we're going to be crossing, and on the right hand side we can see the altitude that we're expecting to be at, like 700 feet, 1400 and so on. And I'm just looking at this to go see what is the sort of maximum that we'll be at. So here 13,000, that seems to be it. And then we go down, we decelerate and go down, and then the EH623, 625, those are all the last final waypoints into the runway. So 13,000, and so that's good. Then what I'm going to do is just go prepare my autopilot a little bit. So I want automatic thrust to be on, so that the plane can control that. I'm going to set my altitude to the highest point, 13,000. I'm also going to set the speed to 250 because we can't exceed 250 when we're under 10,000 feet. Okay. I'm going to put the flight director on. Here you can see in this panel here, you can already see sort of the path drawn up here, and we can also twiddle this knob so that we can see like a high range or a low range, so that we can actually see these things. Now while I'm in this range, very important as well is to click on the constraints button here. So the CSTR is to see the constraints, and here, I don't know if you can actually see that properly, but we can actually see the different altitudes on the different waypoints. Now that's just for us to see, but you'll see that the plane will also follow those if we do things in a certain way. So now that that's done, I'm gonna just prepare everything. Like here you can see that when I chose the altitude, I was rolling the button around left and right and so on. But there's also an arrow to the top, which means engage managed altitude mode. So if I want the plane to manage the altitude himself, I need to click on that, and that will engage the managed altitude. And I also want him to manage the speed, and I also want him to manage the heading. Okay, that's sort of like saying that you want the navigation, the lateral navigation, to be automated as well. So I think that's all we need to do. So let's just put on half throttle. See if that goes up. Okay, that's fine. Full throttle, and then I'm going to disengage the brake and take off. And as soon as we're up in the air and have pulled the wheels up, I'll just put it on autopilot and let it take care of itself. And we need to monitor the speed, because at some stage we can see that the speed goes a bit crazy. So, okay, let's go for it. Okay, gear up. I'm gonna bring my flaps out again. I mean my flaps up rather. Okay, now that we're flying, I'm gonna switch on autopilot. Now, the speed. Yeah, okay, so it wants to go to 250. So let's just see what it does here. Okay, yeah, just a little problem here. So I need to the altitude. I'm gonna bring it down to 0 and press managed again, and now you'll see that it's trying to get to 7,300 because that's this next waypoint. So now it will climb to 7,300. I'm not touching anything, by the way, anymore. Okay, speed is going up still. I need to monitor that.
Airbus 320, please acknowledge.
Okay, I need to turn that down.
Beeline tree 617, you were not cleared to take off.
Going too fast.
Airbus 320, IFR flight plan is cancelled. Radar service terminated.
Okay, so I'm just messing around with the throttle now because it seems to
Frequency change approved.
have gone a bit crazy.
Brussels Tower,
Let's see if we still have our
1 miles northeast inbound ILS Yankee runway 25 right approach.
marker on 250.
3206 Brussels Tower. Cleared ILS Yankee runway 25 right approach. Altimeter 29er, to wind 270 at 8. Cleared ILS Yankee runway 25 right approach Iberia 3206.
Okay, so just a bit of a hiccup with the speed there. And let's just see, do we still have our bug at 250? We do. So I think it's going to try and stabilize at 250 here. I don't know why it rushed to 300. If there's any like pilots that know why, that would be good to tell me or tell us. Let's see. Okay, good. So now it all looks quite stable, and we'll see that it will take a turn, and then if we look at this screen, the next point is at 11,600. So as it crosses the CIV point, you'll see it will change to climb, and it will climb to 11,600. So it will follow this vertical flight plan as well, until it gets to Schiphol. So I might be speeding up certain parts of this video so that it doesn't take the real amount of time, but that's pretty much it until we get to the ILS. So, but we'll see. I mean, so I'm completely hands off now. I can show you external views of this plane, but let's first have a look and see how it automatically chooses the 11,650 point. have a look outside quickly. Isn't that just gorgeous? Right, let's go back in. Okay, there is one thing that I need to do still. I need to just dial in the ILS, which we didn't talk about, but it's frequency 109.5 for runway 18C. So I need to dial that into to the frequencies on our panel. You see now it does its turn, and it's also changed this to climb. So now it will climb to 11,700. So this is all automated. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, it's working as it should. Now, as I said, while it's doing that, let's just go down to this panel, that panel here. So here, I'm going to open up the guard. Okay, so 10.50, so this is 109 as I said, 109.50. We'll put that on there. Let's leave it at that for now. Okay, let's see how this is going. So we're going to point 30. Let's have a look. Seeing as I've got a controller, we can actually do some outside views for fun. So now I can. This is the drone camera, so we can actually really have a look at different viewpoints. I saw something from below the plane, which is quite cool actually. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? You can go in the plane as well, but there's not much happening inside the plane. There's the wheels. Some sort of... they've put a window, I think it's for the cameras here, so that they can have a view outside the window. But it's not easy to control this thing. Anyway, so let's go see the captain here. There's the front window. Let's climb a bit. Oh, so we can peek through the windows there. And we can actually just see that. Then we can just go out the plane and have a look at different views. We can look down, up. Takes a bit of controlling to know exactly how to work this thing, but just amazing. Alright, anyway. So let's just go back in. Back in, and let's see. So now we're about to do the turn towards Helen. Let's look at that from the outside, actually. As soon as it turns, we'll look inside and we'll see that it's actually climbing again. Beautiful. Look at this clouds, my goodness. Okay, so when is it going to start his turn? There we go. And if we go inside, I believe it will start saying that it needs to climb to 13,000 or interesting. Okay, it wants to climb to 10,800, so it's skipping this Helen point and going straight to the next one. Interesting. Anyway, so let's go back out for some nice views. I actually need to get the livery pack so that we can actually have a look at other colours and other brands, airline companies and so on. Let's look at the wingtip. This is just stunning. Let's go look. Okay, we're going to be going straight for a while. Let's change the range of this. Okay, so after this Tolan at 10,800, we're going to be dropping again to about 8,000. Alright, well, as it's all automated, I'm going to carry on outside, and again, I'll probably speed up certain parts of this video. what's happening. Yeah, there you go. So we've hit the decel, and you can see that speed's going down to just under 200 it wants to go. I think what's interesting is we should be going right over Schiphol soon. There we go. That's where we're going to come back to land. There's our turn. Alright, let's get back in. Okay, so let's just zoom in a little bit more. So we're going to this point OA, then turning to USR, then back to EH623. And this is the point where I'm going to switch on, well, we can already switch on the ILS info. And here you can see the plane is now descending to 3000. Let's go have a look if there's anything exciting. Nice. Okay, things are gonna get exciting now. Okay, so apparently 10-degree flaps, maximum speed is 215, so I can already start putting the first bit of flaps out. But I don't need to, I guess. It's doing its thing. Okay, this is our turn to USR. Wow. In a bit of the clouds. Alright, let's bring it back. So here at the bottom we can actually see the ILS frequency and the beacon that's bringing us there, 9.8 miles away, but we're going away from it now. And then we're going to be turning and going towards it soon. Okay. Let me just position the camera. 10% flaps out. I can put 15 as well. I think I can put the wheels out, so then I want to show you how nice that looks. Okay, now we're on the path here, so what we can do is put more flaps out, and I'll just go and arm the approach here. And now we should see that altitude shows us that it wants to go to the glide slope, and these pink or magenta little lozenges are showing us how well we are aligned to the glide slope. And yeah, we are now managed by the ILS. We're going down to 2000. Right. Landing speed in these planes is about 140. What am I now? What flaps do I have? I have almost full flaps. Still okay. Okay, so now you can see the glide slope is active and enunciated. And we can actually go down almost automatically. Do we have visuals? I believe we do. Yep. 18C is right ahead of us. It's just but it's a little bit on the right of the airport terminal building. Alright. 3.7 miles. You can see that here. 1000. Speed is good. Okay, I'm getting ready to switch off the autopilot. But not yet. maybe is a good time to do it. And then we need to reverse the thrust. Oopsie. And start applying the brakes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do an automated VNAV and ILS landing. And it seems to work. But if you have any comments, or I mean, I'm not a pilot, so I just try to figure out these software and these games. But if you have any other ideas or things that I've missed out or things that I don't understand, please, 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 please let me know, so that we can all become a little bit more wise. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's go here. Alright, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, thanks for watching and see you next time for another video.